Always get your most accurate forecast first. It is warming up, mid to upper 80s now, low to mid 90s by the time we call it a day.
WLTC First News Midday starts right now.
Welcome in, everyone. Our big story at noon today. Aftershocks continue in central Italy, and rescuers are running out of time to find survivors. Scott McLean live in Italy with the latest.
For some people in Saletta, even if they could go back inside their homes, they wouldn't want to. To them, this is a cemetery now. Local officials and residents tell us that 22 people died in this town alone. Yesterday morning, we watched crews pull the final victim's body from the rubble just about 100 yards from where I'm standing. Today, the military has blocked off most of the town because the steady stream of aftershocks are making further collapse of these buildings more likely and rescue efforts more dangerous. In central Italy, more than 900 aftershocks are making the work of finding survivors even more difficult. These ancient towns have narrow streets, easily blocked by tumbling debris. Though everyone knows the chances of finding survivors alive is decreasing with every passing hour, they keep digging. Tour guide Francesco Milio shot these images in Amatrice. He lives in Rome but rushed to the hard-hit city to look for relatives. His family escaped, but the scene was heartbreaking.
We tried to help the people that were actually digging with their hands. They've been digging nonstop for 24 hours.
Mina Nobile was trapped inside her home in Saletta because the front door jammed shut. To escape, she tied 2 bed sheets together and rappelled down from the second-floor window. She survived, but lost 7 friends and family members.
She's very, very happy because it's like miraculous that she's still alive, but she thinks this village is gone forever.
She's lucky to have a home in Rome to return to. Other survivors, like Maria Poggi, will be sleeping in her damaged car indefinitely. Her home is still standing, but not safe enough to go inside, and that is the least of her worries. She lost 4 relatives, 2 colleagues, and now may have also lost her job.
I don't know if I ever work anymore, a job, because the school is closed. We don't know when it will be open again.
Italy has not just lost homes and people, it has also lost part of its history. These are some of the historical sites that have been affected by the earthquake. The culture minister here says nearly 300 sites in total have been damaged. Now, the victims of this earthquake will be buried on Saturday as part of a state funeral. Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi will also be there. In Saletta, Italy, I'm Scott McLean.
Thanks, Scott. And right now there are 10 Auburn University students in Italy for school. University staff tell us the students are in Rome and are all safe. They say the students know about the quake and thankfully they have not been directly affected by it. Now for a look at our local weather, Miller Robson's here with a look at our local forecast.
Yeah, well, it is getting warm out there, kid. We're going to make our way into the low to mid 90s today. The good news is, and we're going to show you this in just a bit, not as much moisture on top of the air, but as areas. We take a look at our temperatures right now, low to mid 80s. Some of us already into the low 90s up there in LaGrange and Troup County down there in Eufaula as well. We're going to show you that water vapor pushing into the air, the drier air coming in, and that's good news because it's going to stay hot. But do we have any rain coming from the tropics later part of next week? We're keeping an eye on an area of low pressure. We'll talk about that coming up as well.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Miller. Yeah. Continuing with news at noon and our other big story, officials are looking for the person or persons who murdered 2 nuns in Mississippi. Police found the women stabbed to death in their home Thursday, and Reed Binion has the latest.
Unbridled love and care for mankind has been met with unparalleled savagery. Those words, the reaction of Mississippi Secretary of State Delbert Hosemann to the brutal murder of 2 nuns found dead Thursday. Authorities discovered sisters Paula Merrill and Margaret Held stabbed to death in a residence in Durant, north of Jackson. Police finding evidence of a break-in, a vehicle possibly stolen from the property. The sisters' violent death, a stark contrast to the compassion they displayed in life, spending decades helping the poor.
Margaret and I have worked together for many years. We just see patients and do what needs to be done.
Merrill speaking about their work in impoverished Holmes County in a video posted on the Sisters of Charity of Nazareth website.
This is one of the poorest counties in all of Mississippi. It rivals the bottom place in all sorts of statistics.
The same video capturing how the sisters' work was received in the community.
She helped all our people in the community. She helped me.
They take the time with the patients. They go way beyond.
Their brutal murder sending shockwaves through the local community, the state, and all the way to Meryl's childhood home in Massachusetts, where her family now mourns.
It's sad that people come to this, whatever motivates them. I mean, you know, my aunt and sister Margaret, they live their lives to try to make the world better for the people who have nothing.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
In news closer to home, Opelika police hope new technology can help them identify a dead girl. Her body was found in a creek 4 years ago. They believe she may have looked like this. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the FBI helped to reconstruct images of the girl's face. They say she was between 4 and 7 years old when she died somewhere between 2010 and 2012. Her body was found in a trailer park creek on Hurst Street in January of 2012. She was wearing this pink shirt when she died. Call Opelika Police if you know anything. Today, many people in the community are sad to say goodbye to a well-loved grocery store employee who was shot and killed during an armed robbery earlier this month. The funeral service for Deon Carter is set for today at 1 p.m. at Cascade Hills Church in Columbus. Carter was autistic and had been a bagger and stalker at the Piggly Wiggly for 13 years. The 30-year-old was shot and robbed of his cell phone on August 9th when he was headed to his mailbox just to pick up his mail. And a date has been set for the funeral of the bus driver killed in Monday morning's crash. Roy Newman's funeral is scheduled for this Saturday, August 27th at 10 a.m. at the Evangel Temple on Veterans Parkway in Columbus. A wake is also set. It's today from 4 to 6 p.m. at the McMullen Funeral Home. Now, a picture emerging of what happened when 4 people were killed on Hurtsboro Highway. This is it right here, the latest in a string of deadly crashes in East Alabama. The wreck happened here on Highway 26, just on the outskirts of Russell County. Our Robbie Watson has been following the story, and she has the latest.
Alabama troopers' preliminary crash report from that Hurtsboro wreck confirms what we were told initially. The driver of that Ford truck was speeding past cars, driving erratically when that fatal collision occurred.
There was a witness in this crash that, according to them, that Ford pickup truck was passing vehicles and ain't no passing zone. The other unit, Unit 2, the Avalon, was traveling in the opposite direction on Alabama 26, and he was hit in a head-on type manner by that pickup truck in his lane.
19-year-old D. Capel, on his way back to college, tried to avoid the oncoming truck, according to investigators.
The Avalon attempted to get off the highway, could not, so he was hit in a head-on type manner and resulted, like I say, in 4 people being killed.
The 4 deaths are the latest highway fatalities, which continue to soar in the state of Alabama.
We have worked 100 more fatalities than we did this time last year. 100. Okay, I want you to think about that.
Meanwhile, investigators are sorting out exactly what was going on in that truck at the time of this accident.
When somebody dies and it ain't their fault, then we're going to get that. We're going to get answers. And if we need to prosecute, we're going to pursue it with the local district attorney's office with their blessing, and that's what we're going to do.
A final report, which will include results from a toxicology test, will be handed over to a Russell County grand jury in the coming months to determine criminal charges against 25-year-old Marquis Spires of Columbus, the sole survivor and truck driver in that incident, who is still recovering in the Grady Burn Unit in Atlanta. Reporting from our NBC studio in Columbus, Robbie Watson, WLTZ First News.
Now to some future road closings to tell you about so you won't be caught off guard. They're for next week. Norfolk Southern Railroad is closing 2 intersections where streets cross the tracks. They're shutting them down so workers can make repairs and upgrade the crossings. The 10th Street crossing will close Tuesday, August 30th, and Wednesday, August 31st. The 5th Avenue crossing will close Wednesday, August 31st, and Thursday, September 1st. Stay with us on First News Midday. Coming up.
He calls her a bigot. She accuses him of racism, and Donald Trump has an answer to that. I'm Tracy Potts with the latest on the presidential campaign.
And a nice hot day well underway as we take a live look outdoors at Columbus State University, the beautiful clock tower. You can see some puffy white clouds mixing in with that beautiful blue sky. 87 right now in Columbus, on our way to highs in the low to mid 90s. Dry all weekend, but is there rain in the forecast? We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. It's 9 minutes past the hour. This is WLTZ First News Midday. TGIF, everybody.
You're watching WLTC First News Midday with Ricky Van and weather with Miller Robson.
Breaking news for you at noon. Columbus police have arrested 2 suspects in the murder and armed robbery of Deon Carter. Carter is set to be laid to rest today. Investigators have arrested 18-year-old Tyquezdi Davis and 20-year-old Travarius Thomas. Both have been charged with murder of Carter. Police have issued murder warrants for the following. Pay special attention to this. These are the subjects in connection with the robbery and murder of Deon Carter. 18-year-old Toron Stephanie, 18-year-old Kwame Thomas, 22-year-old DeQuay Walden, and all three suspects. These 3 suspects are considered armed and dangerous. If you know anything, contact police. Now, continuing with political news at noon. In decision 2016, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's words are heating up. They're each accusing each other of racism. Tracy Potts in Washington with the latest.
Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Stay with WLTZ and NBC News. We have continuing coverage of Decision 2016. And coming up, being prepared before the storm, we'll tell you who's getting ready for wicked weather next.
And we're taking a look at the big picture right now. An area of high pressure dominating the southeast. It'll do so over the next couple of days, but could there be rain coming in from the tropics? We'll let you know coming up.